Hello, and welcome to another episode of TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen, episode 335. Wow, we've gone on for a minute now. There's been some really big stuff today with FedNow, as well as just updated information with XRP being used by FedNow system, which is really interesting. We're seeing both ecosystems from XLM, aka Stellar, Stellar Labs, Stellar Lumens, however you wish to refer to it, and Ripple Labs, aka XRP, now going to be getting integrated, and this is just being reiterated by FedNow system, which will be utilizing instantaneous payments. There was a really good video put up by Paul Barron today, sort of covering a little bit of some of all of that, which then really pushed on the narrative of if banks have this, what they can really easily do is allow you self-sovereignty control of having access to like stable coins within your banking app. But then the big innovation piece that the FedNow system is going to be utilizing is highly incentivizing people to get into the system, especially around both free to use for now, as well as rebates on fees on transfers. And so they're doing classic Web3 incentivizing, that it will pay to participate. And what the banks can then do is that is a service that you might pay for. If you could have your stable coins in your bank account, and you could send them out whenever you wanted to, do whatever you wanted with them, is that a service you would pay for? So there's new infrastructure models that are being built out and planned out for banks to utilize this, and a lot of different case scenarios being given to these institutions that normally wouldn't have them, aren't used to them. And so it's a really interesting piece to come forward with. And so we did see some really good price action today, with XRP jumping from around 71 cents as low as 69 cents earlier this morning, to over 83, almost 83 cents today. Currently, I think it is around, jump back up to 83.4 cents. So that is a 13-cent range. For those that were doing some 200x leverage on that, I salute you, good sirs and ma'ams and people. I just want to always remind you, take profit. Those were some of the quick things I wanted to touch on. Some really interesting pieces. So XRP, Ripple's website, has some really big information on what that might utilize and be used as. And I'm going to also share the link to Paul Barron's video, because I know Paul Barron, he amazing content. Sometimes it's a little drawn out, but he always delivers, which is really amazing to see. And really good to hear what's going on there. We've seen some good market moves around the rest of the industry this past week, since Judge Torres's ruling, and we're starting to see new opinion pieces put out on how projects can fundraise within exchanges and open markets, and might possibly fall in line with some of the ruling statements from Judge Torres on the XRP case. We do know that that the SEC is going to be waiting until all of the decisions are come out before they put in an appeal, because they can only appeal things that didn't go in their direction right now. Or they can only pick things right off the top. And so if they only pick one, they can't pick the rest of them later. So they're going to wait. And so that will put at least another 2.5 years of Judge Torres' ruling sort of being now some of the first case law that we have, an opinion, laying out the groundwork for that. So hats off to Judge Torres. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. Bobby Kennedy, aka Robert F. Kennedy, is talking about moving part of the U.S. economy to be backed by Bitcoin. We see some major stuff with BlackRock's ETF moving forward. It has made some final submissions, and it's under full review right now. So we'll see how that goes out. A lot of different institutional players are lined up to launch ETFs as well. So we'll see how that comes out. I'm going to do a quick shout out for those that are joining us via YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Telegram, and Xenon. Thank you for joining us. And for those that are joining us via Twitter, huge shout out to Josh the Boss and Miss Carmen Crypto. I have not been able to speak with you for a minute and would love if you have the time to shine so other people can realize how smart you are. How have you been? I'll give you a quick second to either send me a thumbs down or a heart emoji that you're coming up on stage. I'm getting hearts. Yes. That means I'm getting hearts. That means she's coming. Coming around the mountain when she comes. So while she waits up, some of the really cool things that we've seen with leverage being done, just be safe when you're doing it. Personally, I recommend people using isolated margins because that controls the flow of money that you go to. And remember to take profits. Set that. Carmen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Taco. You're right. We have not spoken to each other in a hot minute. We definitely need to catch up.
What is going on in your end of the world? And congrats. I know you had a help with Memeland NFT launching and everything like that.
Yes. We've been really busy making sure that everything was ready for the soft launch, and now we're working through and counting on our community to get their hands dirty, go into the platform, and let's make it perfect and shiny. So that was super exciting. And you were just speaking about the FedNow systems that got launched. And yes, it's affecting all sectors. I mean, we're all really aware of it. You know that I'm really privy to all the happenings when it comes to that because of our relationship with CCX and USFCR, one of the biggest government contractors in the country. Now, right now we're expecting that everyone is just going to be in a holding pattern, watching what actually activates. On the Federal Reserve website, we do know that it's first going to affect depositors, right? The banks have been in pilot programs since probably 3 years ago. We've even seen some of those banks fail this year. So there's two-sided stories about all the bad stuff that can happen if we watch closely and what we anticipate and fear happens, but then there could also be some really great benefits out of the features that they have for the speed of transactions. So I think we're excited that it happened. We want to definitely take a look at what happens in the news, what we can see in reporting, and who's getting involved in things. We're also noticing that a lot of banks, including some DeFi banks and some banks in the crypto space, are taking a look at what they can do to become partners in the FedNow systems to get an understanding of how it truly works.
Yeah, no, there's some really cool stuff happening there. I'm really excited. It is a grain of salt, okay. Cool. The Fed now has FedNow coming in, and that will line up CBDCs. But some of the cool stuff that I saw being talked about today is that BlackRock will not be doing a privacy chain because a KYC chain. Most likely because they're going to go where the money is. Someone even said if someone wants to, I think they compared Elon, if he wants to launch Tesla stock on Dogechain, then people are going to go to Dogechain.
I mean, that's true. There's a lot of factors that can affect, charts, right? And especially who is involved is one of the biggest factors. I think as we take a look at big entities or even government or government institutions taking a look at blockchain technology. We're seeing it across the board. I just went to a May conference for the Government Blockchain Association where we saw representatives from the UN, and they are looking for blockchain technology. And it would be really, eye-opening for a lot of people to hear that sometimes entities like this dip their toe into blockchain to use the fundamental technology before going into monetization rails like, NFTs and crypto tokens. But the fear is, look, if we have FedNow and we've seen some articles come out saying, hey, no, FedNow is not us surveying all of your transactions on this ledger, which, we need to see the technology to verify that. We are looking at this and saying, okay, this is great because we see adoption, but at the same time, to what do we need to be concerned about? If the FedNow systems are activated and depositors are first affected, what is that going to look like in the future when it comes down to business owners and citizens and constituents like us? It's good the blockchain is there, but at the same time, it is really the perfect platform to launch a CBDC on. And from the Federal Reserve side, they say that we're just testing things out for that. So there's going to be more to come that we need to stay close to. And this is a big milestone for us, but I don't think it changes too much today. We'll have to see what the ripple effect of that will be months from now.
Yeah. I know UN here has 2 events coming up that are blockchain related that I was sent an invite to one of them, and so I signed up for both of them because it was just a 2-day piece coming up. It'll be interesting. And then recently, it was sort of funny. The UN sort of touted it as being the first ever AI conference just happening. Did you see that?
Well, we both know it's not true. That
Not true. Yeah.
That might be the one that they are involved in. We know that they're also going to be involved in the September event for the Government Blockchain Association, also with that title and layer of we're talking about AI and its impact on these blockchain technologies. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting. But we're seeing. I mean, when I was at that conference, we're seeing the Department of Commerce there, the FAA, the UN. People are waking up and they're getting curious. And I think the success is going to be when people from the DeFi space and from, the active Web3 space who are in the trenches being builders and really touching the technology meet entities like that and go beyond the games and go beyond the financials and say, look, there's a philosophy to the power of what this technology can do. And if we can teach that to you, then we can start to uncover, how this can be used for good and how you can use it and test it out and understand it without having to go straight to this realm of the bad optics in the media, of the scams and the money gains and the stealing.
Yeah. It's always the fight against scams and that piece, and whether there's heavy tech being involved to trace accounts and payments. Blockchain sort of just makes that happen naturally. I know I participated in tracing today. But this is the bad thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing, but people are literally incentivized to report wallet tracing. Are you familiar with Arkham?
I'm not familiar with Arkham at all.
So Arkham is a platform I'm part of, a huge analytics platform, and they have a ton of different bounties. Like one of the bounties they have is sitting down and tracing wallet addresses from the FTX hack, or finger quotations hack. And so people that are incentivized to sit down and follow those trails. And it might already be, someone might have already done it, but you're confirming it. Big wallet movements and stuff like that being, the other one is hot wallets for exchanges. If you find hot wallets, you can get incentivized to do that. Arkham does some really cool stuff with analytics for one's own uses. Let me see if I think I have it on a tab somewhere because I've been playing with it today. There we go. All right, Arkham, and we're gonna put you all the way over here, and then we're gonna put you on the jumbotron. I'll put this link down in the comments as well. But I know you don't pay too much attention to your hidden DMs and stuff like that, but you might have seen some tweets, some messages talking about false airdrops and stuff like that from Arkham and stuff like that. But really, it's a tool where, yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, there we go.
Wallet tracking is so needed in this space, and unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't occur until after a catastrophic event has happened, right? Yielding everyone to go and take a closer look. This is like those moments where, you and I like to remind people to be cautious and have best practices in place. I recently saw a community in which their founder and CEO had pretty much stolen almost $200,000 from the project. And when they were trying to uncover the truth and kind of, press them up against the wall and find out where are these funds, come to find out through all the excuses that were given, that none of the team really had any record of the actual wallets that were being used for the project. They really trusted in that leader. And so the best practice is like, look, if you're in a project and you have a team, let's make sure that there's transparency, wallets are really there, and that if needed, you can always do your forensics. And in fact, we're seeing a large growth of attorneys and forensic attorneys that are turning to the blockchain and very interested on whether or not they want to participate in legal matters on this side. And one of the biggest concerns that they have is, based on media optics, they keep on hearing that scammers disappear and ghost, and that we can't dox them and that we can't identify them, and therefore they may not be able to recoup funds. And you got someone like me saying, no, we have the audacious pleasure of meeting people who are fully doxed, that we know who they are, where they're from, and sometimes where they live, and where they operate out of, and still yet they scam people. So we're inviting as many people and kind of like rolling out a red carpet and saying, yes, you can find purpose in this space that will impact all of us and make it a safer place for both consumers and investors.
Yeah. And let's see, what's one of the hard things, like this is something that I have to fight all the time. I sometimes see more scams perpetrated by doxed individuals than I do by undoxed, And is that always the case? No, it's not. But that's where, like, one of the things that I do just to help be perpetual in, consistency and transparency is I don't even change my PFP. You can find my PFP in a crowd, on my back, on every single NFT I make, or anytime I make a token, I make it with the same PFP. So
it's a good thing to brand yourself, but at the same time, too, being consistent and showing up is some of the behaviors that people have to be extreme about if they want, if you have integrity and you're a good player in this place, you do want to be consistent and show up. It's one of the behaviors and best practices that I had when, unfortunately, I was the face of a rug pull token because that CEO just ran off, right? Fully doxed. It's resonating with what you're saying right here. It happens way too often, and people also need to understand and take note that we're not just saying that, when people rug pull, that it was intended to be a scam. Oftentimes, these fully doxed, individuals have intentions of succeeding, but perhaps their professional competencies or their past work history was just too big of a job. And it's also a very unforgiving environment where marketing is manipulated. The technology always changes. So even a great leader in this place can also fail too. Yeah. And some people just don't know how to take an L and to be honest and to take accountability. And so oftentimes it turns into something really negative.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where, you just have to, it's the consistency, especially like lately where we've seen even just Twitter being manipulated. with bot accounts and botted spaces, and even just keywords that will automatically bring the bots, which is really crazy. You know?
Yeah, the bot game is getting really, there's a lot of great bots that are being created to help keep communities engaged, elevate the experience and the investor engagement relationship as well. But yeah, then there's exploiting bots, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, in Web3, it's a combination of, we understand what black hats do and we understand what white hats do. But in a space like ours, we kind of need the red hats, right? Which they understand the exploit, they can fix it, but then they can also go after the bad guys. With the lack of support from authorities that can hold people accountable at a quick rate, and the velocity at which we continue to watch these guys rug a token, make another one, and go again, knowing that our legal system may take months to years to hold them accountable, it gives them a lot of roadway for them to continuously find a way to take the money of others and to keep them, in I hate to say this, but rugged, ruined, and wrecked.
Yeah. I don't know. We never really have anything good to say about the Chinese government, unfortunately. But I do want to point out today that they actually arrested a group of individuals that had rugged and was funneling like $54 million worth of USDT. So go them.
Go them.
But want to also, always great to have you up on stage, Josh. How are you doing, good sir?
Sorry, I was out. I'm doing good. What's going on? I'm listening to the conversation. I'm surprised you don't know anything about what is it called? I'm surprised you don't know anything about the what is that thing called? I just said it. Just Arkham.
Oh.
I actually don't see Arkham as a good thing, if I'm being honest with you. I don't.
And why is that?
Because Arkham right now is like, it's not used the way you guys. Here's the thing. Everyone wants things to be used in certain ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's an example. And this is just an example. Shovels are used to dig dirt, right? If you dig dirt for the wrong reason, or you use a shovel for the wrong reason, well, that's not cool, right? The primary use of the shovel is to use it to dig, right?
Yep.
With this technology, the purpose of Arkham is to be able to track down criminals, but it's actually criminals who are using the technology to track down perfectly good people and find their identity. And we're seeing it today. I just saw this today, and I just want you guys to know that, there is two sides to the story. It's not just one-sided.
Yep. I will agree with you. There's always a good side and a bad side to everything. I think it comes to there isn't, and that's a two-sided sword to it. We have that transparency and openness of blockchain. Arkham makes it a lot easier to do than what anyone could do with a spreadsheet before, or breadcrumbs, or even Certix, Skynet, Skynet and Skytrace platforms could have been able to do since like last year. So it's sort of, power user. How do we see this be used for good?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's always a hard case to figure that out and find that balance. But it's one of those things that we have the choice to do. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, wait, where did she go?
She had to run. She had to run to a meeting. She had to run. But she'll be back most likely later on tonight, or if I'm still around. But no, she had to run. Carmen had to run.
All good. So I just got back from the gym. I am making my dinner, and I didn't call early today. I had an early sleep. I got some things to think about, so I'm just gonna go sleep it off. Sleep and think and meditate and do all that good stuff.
Yeah. It is one of those things where a long day has been. It has been. You had asked me to DM you earlier. What is up?
Oh, I wanted to DM me about something. I forgot what it was. I was like, hey, just DM me the link to something. I forgot what it was.
Oh, for Mouse Jiggler?
I had no idea.
Because you were talking about your heavy metals?
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah. No, literally just go into Google and type in Mouse Jiggler app, and like 10 of them will come up.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it's they are a cool thing. Most what's really hilarious is a lot of them get downloaded. If you you literally type in Mouse Jiggler, mouse-jiggler.en will be one of the first ones that pops up. Good one. What they're usually for is for people that want to like not have their screen go idle, and you can enable your jiggle, and so it will move your mouse around.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's almost over.
Yeah. Yep, it is. So, what have you seen big on the days today?
Honestly, though, I've been focused on Twitter, and I know XRP is a huge thing right now. So I'm just like, alright. So like, I don't like XRP because of the whole centralization thing. But at a certain point, you gotta move past the. You have to move past your own beliefs, and you have to look at where the money is going. Right, the money is going into XRP, and so I need to, I have to change my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
What is XRP at right now? Do you know?
Yeah, it is currently at 82.97 cents.
Oh wow! Did it ever hit $1 like on that run after Coinbase?
It got to 90. Well, when you say after Coinbase, you mean after the XRP ruling?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah. It hit 96 cents was the highest it went before dropping back down to 70 cents because it's been at 45 cents for a little bit, and that is when it then moved up to what do you got going on?
Oh shit! I thought I had my.
You are horrible on that sometimes, my friend.
The absolute worst.
But no, it started off at 45 cents, ran all the way up to 96 cents. And then from there, it it dropped back down to 70 cents. And then now it's been up all the way up to like 85 cents today, I think, and now it's seeming to settle around 83. We'll see in another hour or so as other markets start to wake up and start to go. So yeah.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, that's awesome though. That's fucking awesome. I don't know. What do you think about XRP? I'm educated. Like, I know what XRP is, right? Like, I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
But that's not the future that I saw. But here we are. So I just want to know what your take is on it.
I think XRP provides a really good infrastructure piece for the industry level that will really, I think it lays good groundwork for things. So it will provide the security that nations want, that major banks want. And so I think that will provide a lot more incentive for bigger projects, bigger things to happen. Will that be the everyday person? Maybe not, but we will see that go.
Absolutely. I love to hear it. This is your daily bite of Degen. Make sure you guys like and retweet everything that you post. Subscribe to his YouTube. Go like his TikTok. Go give him a follow. Dude, this guy's really putting in the work, man. Taco, you are here every single freaking day, no matter how big, no matter how small the station is.
Yep. No, we had the other day we had what was it? We had about 60 people, 69 people joining us on stream, and then like another 70 people joining us in space. So yeah. And that was just talking about it was talking about a creator platform on Solana, Foster protocol, and then talking about Zen for a while. So it's gonna be cool. You've heard of the inverse Kramer, right?
Oh yeah.
So you might want to come to the show on Friday then.
What's going on Friday?
All I'm gonna say is you're gonna want to be there then.
Oh man, what time? Cause dude, you switch it up. Sometimes you're early, sometimes you're late. Though.
Yeah, it's there. I was in a 6-hour space today, followed by like a 4-hour follow-up space. It will be at 11.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
11
a.m.
a.m.
Yep.
All right, love to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And heck, we are counting down. We are 30 days away from 365. So.
What are you gonna do on 365?
Don't even know yet. Just have fun, like I always do. It's just gonna be prep for episode 366 the next day.
Say that again?
Who knows? It might just be prep for episode 366 the next day.
I love to hear that. That's awesome.
So, all right. As we bring this space to an end, Josh, since you are on stage, final thoughts and words of wisdom, man. What do you got for me?
What do I got for you?
Yeah.
Okay, I got one. This is not crypto related. This is just something I'm going through today. In my breed, it's very hard to find out who's real and who's not, right? And I think that when you find those people who are actually going to support you no matter what, who are always there to get your back, like that have your back, the people who, no matter what other people say about you, they're always going to be there for you. Those people, you should support them. You should treat them with respect. You should take care of them because there's not a whole lot of people like that in Red Creek.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people in the States need to not take that for granted. Because I promise you, when it goes away, it's not going to feel good. And you're going to be like, shit, I should have taken care of those people. So, Taco, you're one of those people for me, man. I don't give a fuck what anyone says about you. I'm here to support you. When I'm up at this time, which I am nowadays, I'm here.
All right. Well, thank you, Josh. Thank you for being here. And as always, my words of wisdom are a closed mouth cannot be fed, and you cannot feed a closed mouth, meaning if no one knows you're looking for opportunity cannot come a knocking. And if opportunity does come a knocking and you are not ready to answer that call, it's going to keep on walking. So, yeah.
One thing. I'm actively looking for work for Discord and mods.
Actively looking for work. Like I said, a closed mouth cannot be fed. For those listening, please follow Josh the Boss. Follow up with him and see if he might be able to provide value to your community like he provides value to so many other communities. Great having you tonight, Josh. And as always, we end with the worst, best knock-knock joke on the face of the planet. It's always done out of love for everyone joining us for the first or last time. We want to thank you for joining us for episode 335 of TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen. We're going to end this one a simple way. Knock, knock.
Who's there?